jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out that more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Good afternoon, everyone. WCS back on the boulevard again. Shout out to Drury Jones Jr. first in the building. Salute to you, brother. Big shout out. Thank you for your support. And everybody else that's set to join the building. Toby Bartlett on deck. Shout out from across the pond. Well, shout out to across the pond. Salute to you, Toby, for pulling up. You already know. You already know. So today's live stream is just a update to the grim reality that is pretty much saturating the headlines of this Nashville shooting concerning AUDREY HALE. Okay. This is her on the thumbnail, AUDREY HALE, smiling and everything, you know, when she was supposedly a woman. And that's what I'm gonna get down to, because yeah, I got something to say about this. Real talk. I got something to say about this. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. I just try my best to articulate it as much as I possibly can. It might be a bit offensive, but this pronomic mercenary, she is the one that was killed inside the Covenant, this Christian school in Nashville, Tennessee, in the affluent area of Nashville, Tennessee. All right. My first question is that if you're going to identify her, you know, pronomic is not even a word, but I'm gonna use it. Her pronomic title, that's the pronoun that they want to use, or whatever, or place her internally to the acronym which Jones has put out there, the LGB Tango, whatever. So make up your mind what you're going to do. Is she a male or a female? Because in my opinion, here we go again with another moment that lives have been taken, but we want to be soft on the identity of who she truly is. You know what I'm saying? She's a female, but you all identify her as trans. Which one is it? Because it seems like you all continue to identify as a female, and it's coming off as a bit soft-hearted. You know what I'm saying? It's coming off as soft. She went in there and killed kids, and she killed 3 adults. She killed a child who was attempting to pull the fire alarm. She gunned her down. She gunned down a child who was attempting to go in the hallway and pull the fire alarm. And this chick, AUDREY, gunned her down. You know what I'm saying? So which one is the media? Which one are y'all going to use? I'm just curious. Y'all need to stick to the, you know, if you're going to identify her as a she, or you're going to identify her as a male. Which one is it going to be? Because it seems like you all are picking and choosing what's convenient for the news headline. Call it for what it is. Just because you wear a baseball cap, backwards and everything, which one are you gonna identify her as? Let's get down to the article part of it. The news conference came a day after HALE, a former student at Covenant School, stormed into the elementary school. Let's talk about them saying she stormed. This female shot and broke the glass to make entry into the school. She shot the glass and she made entry into broken glass from two sets of doors. And then she walked into school with two assault rifles, right? One on the left and right side of her body, and she had a firearm. Also, previous to this, let's give a little bit more backstory on this, because you hear a lot from these type of shooters. She was being treated for emotional disorder. What the F is emotional disorder? How are you being treated and you at home? Once again, with a family who has a 28-year-old living with them, and they're not even paying attention to what the 28-year-old is doing. Nor do it seem like they cared. She's being treated for emotional disorder. This is the blasphemy that we have to deal with when it comes to situations like this. And this particular person have carried out a heinous act of violence, bro. She has carried out a heinous act of violence, but they come up here, oh, well, she was being treated for emotional disorder. Not only that, she had bought 7 firearms now. 7 firearms, the same scripture, same format, same type of descriptive human being. They try to paint him with some type of emotion disorder. She's sending out cryptic messages to a friend, didn't say anything. The friend didn't say anything. She said, oh, this will be the last time you ever see me. I don't want to live no more, this, that, and the other. Oh, no, you have so much to live for. You didn't find out that was some type of alarm. But anyway, this female bought 7 firearms, including the assault rifle and the pistol that she had. 3 of them she used in the shooting, right? She was being treated for emotional disorder, 28 years old, still staying in the domicile of relatives who didn't pay attention to her. And the dumbest thing that I heard, the dumbest, once again, when it comes to, I wonder if my relatives can get away with this. The dumbest that I've heard thus far is that one of her relatives that lived there said, oh, we saw the bag there. We saw the bag. And we asked her, but she said it wasn't no big deal. So we just let it be. How many times do we have families, right, that supposedly have these kids that have these mental disorders, right? Because this is only, I'm being honest, this is only an MO or a format for certain looking individuals. I'm just saying, man, when it comes to the media, it don't seem like they are putting out the raw information and just portray her for what she did. She went out there and carried out a heinous act of violence. She took the lives of kids and she took the lives of teachers, right? But yet they sit up there and say, well, she had a motion disorder. She was in the company of adults and they seen the bag, but they just asked her some light question and she gave her answer. Well, you trying to tell me that female don't leave the house? She never steps outside the house to go to the store. She's just in the house all the time. If that was the case, if she did leave the house and y'all didn't go over there and check and see what she had in the bag, she had that big duffel bag and you didn't think to ask out of curiosity, what's going on with with this particular situation, with this 28-year-old being isolated in her room, not talking too much to anybody. You know what I'm saying? What could she potentially be up to, if any? I mean, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's crazy. So they say the attack was the 19th shooting at American school or university in 2023. All right. Let's keep it moving. The 28-year-old who killed 3 children and 3 adults at a Christian school in Nashville was under care for an emotional disorder and had legally now bought 7 firearms locally. Now, I know I keep stopping on this. I'm just trying to find out where she got the money. What did this 28-year-old female, who they pick and choose what they want to call her trans or not, right? You know what I'm saying? They want to pick and choose whether they want to call her trans, which, in reality, we see all these TV shows where, identify me in the right proper term, the right identity, identify me. Well, what about now? They want to put a soft, life-hearted, news update that she was a she. Like, who put this picture up here? Who put the picture up there? This is the only picture that they could have found of her looking like somebody's freaking little daughter, innocent as she can be, does everything right. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, that female that you see to the right of you is the same female with her base, where her cap turned backwards, with 2 assault rifles and a pistol, with gloves on, walking through the school about to then kill and take the lives of 6 people. You trying to tell me, as a trans woman, it was no pictures out there with her looking like she's in transition, to give the viewers a real pic? I mean, I'm talking about a real visual of who she is when she was attempted. See, this is what I seen the other day. You remember I spoke about this yesterday? I said I was trying to save this picture that showed her more so looking like she was as a trans, and it wouldn't let me download it. And then when I returned back to the page to try to download it, it wasn't even there. Now this picture is what's circulating around here. That's not fair, bro. That's not fair. I want to know, where was she working and where she got the money from? Where was she working? Where did she get the money from? Now, it's a video that's out here of the body cam, and shout out to the law enforcement officers that went in there tactically, you know what I'm saying, and cleared the bottom half of the school, you know what I'm saying, and then proceeded to clear the second level. And once they reached the second level, that's where they began to hear shots, and you can tell it was from a high-powered weapon. So once they made themselves down the hallway, the good thing about what I did here tactically is that one of the officers did say to the right. So they was approaching a hallway, and at the end was a room. So per the sound of the gun, it seemed like it was coming from the right side of that room. And once they made entry into that room, they start to engage Audrey HALE, and they gunned her down like she should have. You know what I'm saying? Like she should have. She was over by the window, I think, shooting out the window, I think. You know what I'm saying? She was over by the window shooting out the window. But they lit her up, and it didn't take much. She got her wish. But let's go on. It said the attack was targeted and involved prior planning. This is once again a killer that had prior planning. Now, the only thing I'm saying is, most of the time when you hear about these massacres, they put all the signs out there, all the red flags. They put it out there. Nobody act on them, yo. All these dang signs, all these red flags, everything is out here. Nobody want to act on it. This was pre-planned. Nobody acted on it. The attack was targeted and involved prior planning, police said. The shooter had drawn detailed maps of the school, including the entry points to the building. It is the deadliest attack shooting since the attack in Texas. Okay. They show one of the teachers, Catherine Kunz's friends describe her impact. She was killed. I think she was 61. Okay. Police found writings with school shooter Audrey Hale's body. Okay, police found writings with school shooter Audrey Hale's body as well as in her car. Okay, so she had writings on her and in her car. She had documentation. And there is a text exchange between her and a friend. Now, why couldn't that friend call 911 right then and say, you know what? I just received this alarming text from my good friend Audrey. I think she's about to do something. No, it's not too alarming. Because I remember her having that warm, creamy smile. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't hurt a fly. Man, get out of here. It goes on to say in the writings, Hale mentioned a mall near the site of the Covenant School shooting as another possible target. So she was planning on going to the mall. You know, she was planning on going to a local mall, y'all. But she chose a school. She chose a school where she used to attend, and she knew very well there would be little kids in that school. Now, this is a person who somehow, somewhere along her journey, found herself in a very dark place, a very disjointed psychological dead space. Somehow, some way, I don't know if because her transition or basically, you know, when it comes to Christianity, what she was doing in her personal life went against the religion. Certain people didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like religion is funny these days. You know, according to who or what religion you with, you know, some of them don't accept certain changes in the pronouns and all that, and some do. But who knows? Was some of her family members giving her a hard time about transitioning? I have no idea. It goes on to say, Aaron would not okay. That's okay. So it said they would not confirm if the location was the mall at Green Hills, which is up the street from the school. Nashville Police Chief John Drake said writings mentioned shootings at multiple locations, including the school. Hale killed 3 children, 3 adults on Monday before being fatally shot by responding officers. Aaron said the 7 weapons were purchased between October 20th, 2020 and June 6, 2022. So she just recently purchased weapons last year too. All right. For a total of 7 weapons. But yet she's being treated for emotional disorder. So why are we talking about going to Congress when there's no anything? There's no set standard to prevent people that's being treated for certain things not to be able to purchase a weapon. Okay, that's enough said. Let's not go through this like, you know, we haven't had this happen before. There's been so much that's happened before. She's being treated at 28 years old for emotion disorder, but she's still purchasing a firearm. Just like the other killer. Still able to purchase firearms. Family ain't asking nothing. Family is not asking. Family is not going in the room. Hey, how you doing? We haven't seen you come out the room in a bit. Come on out and talk to us. And maybe have a family member go in there and look around, be nosy. No, not in this lifetime. Toby said 19 shooting of 2023 already. That's crazy. It is, ain't it? King Mitch on deck. Salute to you. So let me help somebody out. Let me help somebody out. Let me help. You know, people coming in here telling me stop giving her attention. It's news, it's media. There's many people coming here and talk about stuff every day, man, get up out of here. Nobody's listening to what you said, giving her attention. She's all over the headlines. And you're going to come over here and tell me, stop giving her attention? Go kick rocks barefooted. L Dog on deck. What's good? Those cops are real heroes, unlike those suckers at U of A Texas Elementary. Well, you know, trying to stay on topic, the format for which they did make entry was quite different. I agree with you, L Dog. It was quite different as far as the staff and the responding officers. I agree. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't call them suckers. I wouldn't call them suckers because, you know, you're still dealing with individuals who are getting paid to do a job, but that doesn't mean they've been a part of a real world situation like that, as intense that they may lose their life. So there's a lot of scared individuals in that. You know what I'm saying? Vice, this right here, this team of responders, nah. They move like a tag team. These dudes move like a tag team, bro. They were gonna shoot whatever popped around that corner. If they had a gun in their hand, they was dead. The way these guys cleared the first level and then moved up to engage the second, nah, perfect. I mean, they was on their point. Heroes, unlike the one, them chump cops. Okay, so moving on. I don't know why you making this about other law enforcement. That L Dog. This is not the purpose of the live stream, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about you want to talk about Texas, but yet we're talking about Nashville. Come on, bro. Chill, man. Let me get back to where I was. I said that the police released body cam, and you should check that out. I checked it out maybe 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? The footage is from the body-worn cameras of Officer Rex Engelbert and Michael Colazzo, who police said fatally shot the attacker on Monday at 10:27 a.m. The video showed a group of 5 officers enter the school amid wailing fire alarms and immediately went into several rooms to look for the suspect. And that's what I was talking about, how they was clearing rooms. And they did it tactically, very efficiently, and they got it done in a timely manner. And when it was time to basically make entry to the second floor, they did it in a timely manner. And once they got to the second floor, that's when they heard the gunfire, you know? So they say they heard gunfire on the second floor, and so hustle upstairs as the bangs grew louder. The video shows the officer approached the sound of gunfire, and Engelbert, armed with an assault-style rifle, rounded the corner and fired multiple shots at a person near a large window who dropped to the ground, the video show. And that was Audrey. Audrey was they engaged her, and she received fatal gunshots from 2 officers. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when they come around that corner, they're not trying to fire no warning shots now. They're coming around there to engage with deadly force. So she probably got 1 to the head, 2, 3, whatever. All right. The officers finally approached the person, moved the gun away, and then radioed suspect down, suspect down. The video adds further insight into the timeline of shooting and the police response. The first 911 call about the shooting came in at 10:13 a.m. and the shooter was killed 14 minutes later, according to the police. Now, not to rehash or retread information that I went over yesterday. Let me move over here. They talk about how President Biden was reiterating his call for Congress to pass an assault weapons ban and saying there was a moral price to pay for inaction. Well, a lot of what goes on in this world today doesn't have anything to do with morals. You know what I'm saying? Because the Constitution itself, does it have anything to do with morals? Do we enact the Constitution? You know what I'm saying? Do we abide by the amendments? Depending on who you ask. The article goes on with CNN and say, as a nation, this is President Biden, we owe these families more than our prayers. Biden said of the families of the 6 people who were killed Monday when a 28-year-old former student opened fire at Covenant School in Nashville. All right. We have to do more to stop this gun violence from ripping communities apart, ripping apart the soul of this nation to protect our children so they learn how to read and write instead of duck and cover in the classroom. Now, I don't think that had anything. I thought it was pointless to basically speak and say, you know, it's ripping apart the soul of our nation when a lot of what our nation evolves around is gun rights. A lot of money is donated to these organizations for gun rights, to keep gun rights enacted. You know what I'm saying? To keep those laws open so people can have the Second Amendment right. He goes on to say, so they learn how to read and write. I mean, anybody can learn how to read and write. It really doesn't have, you know, in one sentence you talk about moral price, but yet you're saying, you know, so they learn how to read and write. It don't take morals to learn how to read and write. Really, seriously, it don't take morals to learn how to read and write. And then when you combine morals and reading and write, okay, what does it have to do with purchasing a weapon? This female was 28 years old. What does it have to do with reading and write? She already knew how to read and she knew how to write, and she had graduated, and she was 28 years of age, able to purchase 7 weapons and since 2020, and no one around her in that domicile thought to ask a person that's being treated by emotion disorder to check her room, see what she had going on. All right, I got it. I truly got it. It goes on to say, the president pointed to bipartisan gun safety legislation he signed into law last year after the mass shooting at an elementary school in Texas, saying, don't tell me we can't do more together. So speaking of that massacre that happened in Texas also, right? To now, we see another one. Did anything change from that massacre to this massacre? It don't seem like it. And I'm an avid, gun owner. I don't believe in, a gun just being placed on the table and then it becomes a danger just by itself, just sitting there. You leave a gun on the table for a year. What is it going to do? If you leave it in a holster for a year, what is it going to do? You know what I'm saying? If you leave it in a case for a whole year with no lock on it, what is it going to do? The potential of somebody gaining entry to that, yeah, then it becomes a problem due to the hands of the individual or the user or the operator that picks up that weapon. But we're talking about just a weapon in itself, by itself. It can have one in the chamber. Is it going to fire on its own? Come on, man. They say firearms first surpassed motor vehicle crashes as the leading cause of death for children and adolescents in 2020, after a sharp increase in the first year of the pandemic. So we can talk about, we can talk about all that. Let's get back to this emotion disorder. All right. The emotion disorder aspect, which is puzzling to me. The shooter was under care for emotional disorder. Metro Nashville police chief said law enforcement knew nothing about the treatment. 28-year-old Aubrey HALE was receiving. They knew nothing about it. HALE's parents felt that HALE should not own weapons. Her parents felt that she shouldn't be owning weapons and were under impression HALE has sold one weapon and did not own anymore. So her parents was not in agreement that she should have any weapons and felt that she had sold one of them and she didn't have any more. So how are you to verify if she didn't have any more weapons? You have to go search. You have to do a site survey, right? You have to go survey the area in question, right? If she's staying in a room, you have to go survey the area. You have to make sure she's um off the premises, and you have to make entry into the room to check it out for yourself and take pictures. You did not do that. She was probably over there cussing y'all out. Leave me alone. You're invading my privacy. Don't ever come in my room. Don't speak unless spoken to. Blah, blah. You know, all that. You know what I'm saying? So it goes on to say, as it turned out, HALE had been hiding several weapons within the house. She was hiding weapons in the house. Got it. It goes on to say that the 7 firearms that she purchased was from 5 different gun stores in Nashville. She purchased weapons from 5 different guns from 5 different gun stores in Nashville. 5 different stores. It goes on to say, investigators have spoken to the parents of the shooter. They believe the shooter did buy at least one weapon, but eventually sold it. Okay. The shooter parent also told police HALE had a red bag. All right. A red bag. When HALE was leaving the house ahead of the shooting, they asked HALE what was in the bag, but ultimately dismissed it, thinking HALE didn't own any weapons according to the. You see what I'm talking about? So lighthearted, soft, carefree. Hey, that looks different. What's in the bag? Didn't push the issue. None of that. Didn't really drive it home and say, no, before you leave up out of here. A lot of things was going on in my mind. Well, a 28-year-old, probably the way she speaks to them, probably what she's been experiencing or whatever. You know, they older. They probably looking at it like, we don't want to upset you. You know, we just want to know what's in the bag. Nothing. Okay, just going about your business, and then you hear the news come on, and it's your daughter. After you didn't do enough, once she was walking out the door, you could have prevented it. You could have prevented that, but you didn't. They had a interview with Senator Bill Haggerty. All right, a Republican, Tennessee Republican, and they asked him about a question with the AR-15s, you know, following the mass shooting. His response was, the tragedy that happened in my state was the result of a depraved person and somebody very, very sick. And the result has been absolutely devastating for people in the community. Right now, with the victims, the family, and the people in the community, we all mourning right now. So I agree with him. She was depraved. She was sick because she was being treated for emotional disorder. I get it. I think that's a correct answer. Even though it is still on the political side, you can't sit up here and chop it up. Like he didn't tell you what it was. It was one person, a person that didn't know what she was. She wanted to transition to a dude. She was a female, whatever the case may be, right? Police said the shooter was armed with a handgun and 2 AR-style weapons, one a rifle and an AR-style pistol. You know what I'm saying? So she had an AR-style weapon, which considered a rifle, and one that was a pistol. All right. It appears to be a hate crime, and it should be investigated as such. And we need to find out more about the individual, whether this person should have firearms at all, maybe should not have. Oh, that's a good question. You know what I'm saying? And then they talk about the 9-year-old victim and how she was shot trying to pull the fire alarm in the hallway. They say Evelyn DeHaas had been left in disbelief. The family of Evelyn DeHaas has been left in disbelief after she and 2 other 9-year-olds were killed Monday in the shooting. They say, our hearts are completely broken. We cannot believe this has happened. And Evelyn was a shining light to the world. We appreciate all the love and support, but ask for space as we grieve. Now, listen, that's tough. To see something pop up on the news and it's dealing with children and everybody who know their child goes to that school, they're rushing to the school just like they did in Texas, where they was hesitant to enter the school. You know that your kid is attending. You know that they're in there. You hoping, oh God, please, if anything, right now, please answer my prayer. Protect my kids. Make sure they ain't harming. Then come to find out it was your kid to get killed. You know what I'm saying? 9 years old, she hadn't even begun to have life, to live her life yet like that. You know what I'm saying? She's still young. Still super young, man. But I know it hurt. Absolutely. I know it hurt to the core. For real. But it's a lot of questions that's going to start to surface once they continue to dig a little deeper into this investigation. I just don't know, that the parents should just get off lightly, even though they did nothing wrong. They did. They made a huge decision. They neglected to push the issue and trying to find out what was going on with their daughter and why she was carrying a big bag the way she was. Why I say that? Because she was already being treated for emotion disorder. And if she wasn't going to the gym, and if the visual looked quite different outside of her normality and what she do on a regular basis, then someone should have, approached her and said, hey, what's going on? Do you mind if we look in the bag? What do you got there? But to dismiss it, I just want to know what the conversation was like. Why did you all dismiss her walking out the house with a red bag? And then why would you even say she sold one of the weapons without thinking she had a weapon? What would bring you to that conclusion that a red bag, she didn't have any more weapons in there? No, you knew she had weapons. And you knew that bag looked like it may contain weapons. That's point blank, period, dog. There's no other way around it. Stop faking it. Stop faking it, bro. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Y'all let that go out the door, knowing very well that something was extremely odd about that whole entire situation. And being that y'all been putting up with Audrey for a long time with this emotional disorder stuff, and y'all been going through some drama, I'm just curious to know what the reaction was. What questions was presented? How long did y'all take for that dialogue to happen before you allow her to say, okay, go ahead? Go ahead, leave. So she left the house without y'all having any type of comprehension of fear? Nothing that was strange about her? That's nonsense, bro. Let me see who's in the chat. Toby said very professional way they move from room to room. I agree, man. They was much different than what we seen over there in Texas. Even though I'm not comparing their tactics to that, because it's a different situation, and it's not to sit up here and criticize, but the way they move was very fluent, and they closed in on the suspect as quick as possible. They closed in on her quick as possible once they start hearing the gunfire. You know what I'm saying? They went towards tyranny and they took care of the threat. They took care with lethal force. It ain't no bean bags. It ain't no bean bags. It ain't no freaking taser. This is straight up coming around the corner, squeezing. Period. Hot. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about no boat action either. We ain't talking about let me load this. No, we talking about semi-automatic. Let's get down to it. Boom, boom, boom. Headshot. You know what I'm saying? They're not playing. King Mitch on deck. What's good? This winch does the unthinkable, and yet she steals a jolly picture posted on major news channels with unflattering mugshots like other folks get. Well, she's dead, so I'm not sure if she had a mugshot. I haven't heard anything about her having a previous record. You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, there's another picture that's definitely looked different than this one that I was attempting to retrieve yesterday, and I couldn't do it. I seen it, and she looks like in between a male and a female. She looks a little different. Not this right here. Not Molly Ann. This Molly Ann picture from Leave It to Beaver. No, this wasn't it. With the red bow in the hair. See, this is what I'm talking about. They softening up the magnitude of this fight. I'm not fight, the magnitude of this event. They softened it up with this picture so people can say, no way, man. No way she did. That's just no way. No, man, she looked too sweet to do that. See, this is what media does, man. The way it communicates, some of these media outlets, the way it communicates, I swear, it can give you a foggy sense of perception. And this is one of them. You see the killer with the red cap on, with a vest now. She not only purchased weapons, y'all, she was able to purchase tack gear. She has tack gear, y'all. She has those AR weapons hanging off her body tactically. Tactically, she's a right-hand shooter. Okay, she's a right-hand shooter. So that's why she's walking with her weapon of choice with her right hand. And she's looking through the windows and everything, looking for victims, man. But yet, this is the picture that I've seen out there. You know what I'm saying? AUDREY, HALE. You couldn't find anything. Plague on deck, salute. Say, I want to see the manifesto. Yeah, I would definitely like, well, matter of fact, let me get you what you want. I seen it out. Part of it. Not the manifesto, but a dialogue that she had with a friend. That from what my understanding is, they did nothing. They said, oh, this is gonna be the last you're gonna hear about. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Is this it? They slowly getting more updated pictures now. Is this a video or let me see if they HALE reportedly was a transgender man who used him, though law enforcement officially described the suspect as a woman in the aftermath. Man, get out. So what I did see, I thought I seen another picture, and she does not look. So let me do one better. Let me do one better right quick. Let me try to hold up. Because I think they have posted another picture. Some other photos out here. And she looks much different. Oh my God. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I was looking for. Okay, let me give you an idea of what her parents was dealing with, vice what these different media outlets were doing to the readers. Seriously, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, man. I found a couple. So let me show you a more recent updated pic that you can relate to better to basically correlate with the madness, man. Bear with me right quick. What the? Hold on, man. What is going on with this? So I think this is going to, okay. Let me save this right quick to give you a bit more clarity as to what the parents was dealing with on a daily basis, vice what some of these media outlets were putting up. It's just unfair to the reader. And let me get this next picture right quick while I'm already over here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, here he is. Here he is. All right. So this is the first new updated picture. They slowly but surely coming out. So here's a new updated picture from the one I have up on the thumbnail. Okay. Just to give you an idea how different. Look at that. That expression. Take a look at her glowering type of expression, the way she's staring. Obviously, some things that's going on that's encased psychologically. And she seems troubled. Real talk. She seems troubled. She doesn't look happy. I don't know if she took the picture of somebody in the house, but that's the kind of picture that you should take precaution. You know what I'm saying? You should walk around with a blade on you. She looked like she's about to harm somebody. I'm just saying that's what it looks like to me. You know what I'm saying? But look at this other picture. This is more so in what she was trying to become as far as a him in her pronomic transition. And this is another picture. It might have been earlier when, you know, she has on a shirt and tie and she's trying to cross over to from a woman to a man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you look at that picture and look at this picture right here. This picture kind of tells who was probably beneath that cap, who was in the school, who, you know, you can tell that she's experiencing some troubles. It's turbulent up there. You know, she has that look on her face like she's unhappy. She don't want to be here no more. She want to cause somebody harm. She seems a bit frowned up. You know what I'm saying? She looks like she's ready. You know, they should have had this picture up here, but then I guess for the family, they would have said, "Oh man, you knew what you was dealing with. Look at this. Look how she looks." They would say, "You know what you was dealing with. Your daughter looking mean like that. You knew she was up to carry out something like that. You knew it, and you didn't do anything." How can she buy 7 weapons and sell 1, but still hide 6 weapons in their house without them knowing? They must have been suspicious of something, in my opinion. They had to be suspicious. And, you know, just looking at this picture, it just seems like they knew what type of attitude she had. When you say emotional, okay, what do we mean by emotional disorder? That can encapsulate a lot when it deals with the well-being of a human. That doesn't tell us anything too much. Emotional. That's just a safe word. You know what I'm saying? That's just a safe word, emotional. Emotional is just like, well, they're not feeling good here and there. No, emotion can be a lot more severe than that. Emotional is very, very light, and it seems like a safe word in diagnosing what this female had. She looks angry. Real talk, she looks angry. Them eyes tell a different story. Them eyes tell a whole nother story. Them eyes tell you. Them eyes look like she's numb. You know what I'm saying? That expression looks vicious. That expression looks vicious, don't it? I'm not gonna lie. It's not too much that you can say to clean that expression up. If that's what the parents was dealing with, the mean side of her, well, they let it go out the door, and that's what you have. That's what they're gonna have to live with, because they knew they had a problem on their hands for a long time, and they was dealing with it, and they wanted to just sit up there and make sure they didn't piss her off. They probably knew very well that she had weapons in the house, and they didn't want to be victims themselves. That's the only thing I can tell you with that. They pretty much activated passive control. Yeah, they were still, playing the parental roles in the house, but they was playing passive roles, man. You know what I'm saying? They may lightly ask, what you got going on? What's in the bag? They really didn't be forceful and say, before you walk out of here, we need to check what you got, because we don't feel comfortable. We don't feel comfortable what you got going on. It's something that we feel that you're not telling us. That's all you had to say. And then if she got real violent, or she reacted in a belligerent type manner, then you should have got on the phone and called law enforcement so they can possibly check it. It's better in that case, knowing that your kid has a big bag with him and something terrible, horrific may happen. You should have got on the phone and called law enforcement and let them know. Serious. This is really bad. Really bad. Because looking at her like this is basically telling you what you're going to see, you ain't gonna like. Whatever you assume that she might be a part of, what you're gonna see, you ain't gonna like. You knew very well what her capabilities were, and you did nothing about it. So there you go. She's on the front line news, gunned down, dead, gone. And now you're gonna face the backlash of the public for a while. You're gonna face the interrogation of local law enforcement as far as what was actually going on in your house. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of things gonna be going on for the whole month coming up. It's gonna be unquiet. Seriously, it's gonna be very unquiet for the next several weeks until they find out what was up. So let me try to find this one text, y'all. I want you all to. Okay, hopefully I can find this text, y'all. All right. Maybe I can find this text. I want you to read this. I'm going to read this text to you. Let me see. Okay, here we go. All right. So check this out. Okay. So here go the text. They say one day this will make more sense. Hale wrote, I've left behind more than enough evidence behind, but something bad is about to happen. Now she's, talking to a friend now. One day this will all make sense, make more sense. I left behind more than enough evidence, but something bad is about to happen. So it goes into the text, right? So basically, that post I made on here about you, that was basically a suicide note. I'm planning to die today. This is not a joke. You probably hear about me on the news after I die, right? And quote, this is my last goodbye. She says, I love you. See you again in another life. Audrey. Aiden in parentheses. The person says, Audrey, you have so much more life to live. I pray God keeps and covers you. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Who is this, man? Who is this, bro? That person is crying to you, crying out to you to do something. And this person said, Audrey, you have so much more life to live. I pray God keeps and covers you. What does God got to do with this? She went to a Christian school, a covenant Christian school, bro, in an affluent neighborhood. And you're talking about God. It's past God at this point. It's past religion. She's been a part of the religion, and she chose to go against possibly what she was taught in that religious private school. Come on now. She's transitioning from a female to a male. People in her family thought that they would have grandkids sooner or later someday, right? But no, Audrey decided to want to become a man and buck the system and go against her religious beliefs that her family had. Come on, man. They're not going to send you to a Christian school if they don't have beliefs. What does God have to do with this when that person is telling you that I already know about God, I already know about religion, but yet I'm sending you this letter? And you say you have so much life to live. I pray God keeps and covers you. What a bum. What a bum of a person. It goes on to say, I know, but I don't want to live. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to upset you or get attention. I just need to die. That's unquote from Audrey. She goes on to say, I wanted to tell you first because you are the most beautiful person I ever seen and known all my life. So this person was the most beautiful person she's ever seen and known her entire life. But this is the person that you send this message to that's not trying to save you. This is the most beautiful person, but you're not trying to save Audrey. You put in there, you have so much more life to live. I pray God keeps and covers you. She's pretty much confirming that, yeah, see you in the next life, whenever that is for me. Because I plan on staying on earth and living. I plan on doing this other. I don't have the same plans you have. She said, I want to tell you first because you are the most beautiful person I ever seen and known in my life. But this person did not even alert authorities or anybody in her family. Boy. Talking about these individuals, they play basketball together at Crestwell Middle High School. I mean Crestwell Middle School. Crestwell Middle School. I'm trying to wrap my mind around it all. How I'm involved. How I'm sent the message. I got a lot of questions and I'm giving them to God. I'm trying to wrap my mind around it all. Quote, how I'm involved, how I'm sent the message. I got a lot of questions and I'm giving them to God. I don't think people understand that. People want to put all this on God, and I find it a comfort zone for them just to release their own liability and give it to God without taking accountability, bro. You didn't alert nobody. Patton says, okay, so let's go up here and see. Did they let me see. Avriana Patton said she saw the message that Hale planned to die, okay, by suicide, would see it on the news and the message Patton provided. And then she would see her again. Hale told Patton about no longer want to live and the need to die. Okay. So that was her friend Patton. And then Patton says, with the advice from her father, she called the suicide hotline, followed by sheriff's department and the police department, all within 20 minutes from receiving the messages. Come on. So let me go up here and be nosy. Maybe I overlooked something. So she said 20 minutes, right? So they got the alarm that a shooting was going on in the school at 10:13. She was already active shooting. Audrey was already actively shooting. And this message was 9:57 a.m. You feel me? So you're trying to tell me when you got this message, Monday morning, 9:57, Pat said she looked at her phone to find at 9:57, Pat said the advice from her father, 20 minutes, department all within 20 minutes from receiving the message. So from 9:57 to 20 minutes attached to it, she trying to act like she made the calls to no that what I'm thinking was all done in reaction to what they was hearing on the local news. Seriously. Because this could have been prevented if she would have called right away to my, oh, all of a sudden I'm seeing it on my IG. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe you were seeing it on your IG at 9:57. I mean, after 9:57, I believe you seen it immediately. You seen it immediately. You seen it immediately. You did. You seen this immediately. If they're saying this 9:57 at 10:13, it was over under 15 minutes. This whole thing lasted 14 minutes. You know what I'm saying? This whole thing lasted 14 minutes. So she received the message and look, with the advice from her father, y'all. With the advice from her father. So I'm assuming she's about 28 years old too, because they played basketball together in middle school. Come on. So she's about around the same age. And they say, with advice from my father, she called a suicide hotline. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. I had no clue it was her. We knew it was a shooting, but I didn't know that message was tied to the actual physical what happened tragedy, said Patton. It's something Patton is still trying to wrap her mind around, knowing she did all she could do to help. Oh my God, that's pathetic, man. Spiritually, it's eating me up. It's eating me alive right now because I'm trying to make God help. Man, oh my God. Like, listen. This is the most beautiful person that she ever known, but you wasn't beautiful enough inside for Audrey Hale to confide in you in what was going on in her life. Did y'all have a relationship going on or something? Was Audrey trying to somehow be a part of your life in a relationship or affectionate? And maybe Patton didn't agree with it. She wasn't on board with it or something. I don't know, but something's weird about all of a sudden bringing God and spiritual into this equation when she said you was the most beautiful person in her life, but yet she didn't confide in you to maybe stop her from carrying out this heinous act of violence, bro. Oh, boy. This is crazy, man. Was she transitioning to a male or male to female? No, transitioning to a male. She was transitioning into a him. See what I'm saying? Why would that first picture even be displayed anywhere? Hey, because some media outlets, regardless of who, you know, the act, they, the court, it might be, some people looking out for who she was. She's a it all depends, man. She's went to a Christian school, she's white. It depends on what they're looking at, man, to put a soft cover story out there, a soft cover story. Get the Molly Ringwald freaking picture and put it up here. Come on, bro. At some point in time, I understand that this is what she did, man. I get it. And she confided in her friend Patton, who obviously is putting all this spiritual conversation into the air as if she's still, heavy on her Christianity side. And being that her friend was somewhat probably going against their beliefs or going against what she was taught, I don't know if they actually had a healthy or a wholesome, a healthy relationship, a communication. Who knows? She might have been going through some things, or she might have a relation. She might want to have a relationship with Patton, and Patton didn't. But if Audrey is going to say you're the most beautiful person I know in life, then why didn't she confide? Why didn't she ask her, say, hey, this is what I got going on. You already know I'm being treated for emotional disorder. I need your help. I need your help. If now more than ever, I need your help. Please help me, because it's getting to a point where this is about to go down. And then she's going to sit up here and lie. See, that's what I'm talking about, this Christianity stuff. Like, you're going to go up here and lie and say, after asking your pops, you're almost 30 years old, and you had to go ask your daddy when your friend who believes you're the most beautiful person in the world was telling you that she's about to do something that would change the lives, her life and other people? What? Patton says with the advice from her father, she called a suicide hotline. Stupidity at its best, man. I'm being honest. This is stupidity at its best. With advice from my father. What do your father have to do with it? You and her was school. Look, y'all was school childhood friends that went to the same school. Why would you have to get advice from your father for what? This is the person who thought you was the most beautiful person in the world. She say, you're the most beautiful person I ever seen and known all my life. And you had to get advice from your father? That tells me right there that when it comes to religion, people pick and choose when they want to, use God. I'm not ranting about this. It's not about me. But all I'm saying is I was trying to do process of elimination on how this could have played out a bit different than it did. And, this just goes to show you you can send people to Christian schools all you want. I mean, nobody's freaking perfect, man. We live on earth where sins happen every day. And everybody's sin has a different value. You know what I'm saying? Sins have different values, and sometimes the value is so high that it affects people in the most violent nature. You know what I'm saying? It affects people in the most violent nature, bro. It's very costly, if you understand what I'm saying. Some sins are very, very costly, and this is one of those sins that are very costly, bro. She took the life of kids, and here her friend is up here talking about from advice of her dad. She called a suicide hotline. Who does that? Listen, who does that now? You had to get advice from your pops. I got it. Why would that person ring the cops right away if it was only to try and save her friend's life? That's a good question. That's a good question. Why she didn't ring them? They just a phone call away now. You already on your phone. You know what I'm saying? You see the messages. I mean, you know the messages are there. She's telling you, I don't want to live. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to upset you or get attention. I just need to die. And that doesn't alert a response from her friend because her friend already knew. I'm gonna be honest. I think her friend already knew what was going on with her. She downplayed it because she was going through emotional disorder, freaking treatment, or whatever she had going on, even if she had it. Her friend kind of dismissed some of the things she was saying as if she was just in a clouded funk of misery. And she downplayed it. She was desensitized to talking to her all the time. Plus, her pops might have said, I don't want you to communicate with her like that because she's going against our religious beliefs. She's trying to be, she's trying to transition from a woman to a man. Why would she do something like that? It just doesn't make any sense. It's sinful. You know what I'm saying? God doesn't approve of that. He never will. You never know what's going on with that life. Oh, man. God dang, boy. Well, she ended up getting what she wanted. I ain't gonna lie. She got what she wanted, man. That's another allocation, to the cemetery. She got what she wanted. You know what I'm saying? She got what she wanted. But that's a good question. Everyone who was in here, appreciate you all pulling up. I'll be back on here possibly a little late. I want to talk about the Anthony Joshua interview that he did, which typical Anthony Joshua, man. I'm not going to talk about it on here because this is not, in my opinion, this is not the live to do it because of who's up here. But I want to really talk about the Anthony Joshua, him nearing, the end, getting ready for his fight and stuff like that. Him talking about what he went through, supposedly. It's hilarious, man. It's hilarious. But salute to y'all for pulling up. Once again, I don't just say it, but appreciate y'all supporting the channel as always. Hit the like button on your way out. If you haven't already did it. Only 5 people like this live. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. It can't be all about boxing all the time. This is just a little relief point, and then I'm gonna get back to the cooking. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring back the hot grease, but I just thought, it was good to talk about current events. But man, y'all hold it down. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out. Salute.